Deni Sciano, welcome to my living room.
Well, hello. Nice to see you. Welcome to my kitchen.
That's the spin-off show, right?
That's right.
Where are you calling in from?
San Antonio, Texas.
Nice. How's the weather down there?
Oh, it's beautiful. We're very humid right now. It's almost like we're only 2 miles from the coast. So typically we get a morning breeze from the coast from, 2 hours. Did I say 2 miles? It's 2 hours away. And it is humid. And so this afternoon, we're supposed to get a horrible thunderstorm with hail and high winds. So we're now preparing the yard, taking all the umbrellas down, bringing all the cushions in, just getting everything ready for this big storm coming in. They're talking about flood warnings and all of that because it's supposed to be torrential.
Oh,
So
maybe it'll get the virus. It'll wash the virus away.
well, it would be nice if we'd all just get it and move on.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Now, I don't detect a Southern twang. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Cedarburg, Wisconsin. It's
Wow.
about 30 miles north of Milwaukee. I grew up on a dairy farm, and which eventually they merged several farms, and our farm ended up. I kept horses and chickens and sheep and some pigs occasionally, and then we had 80 acres that we used for alfalfa, corn, oats, that sort of thing. And so we then no longer a dairy farm, but we just lived there. We rented the house on the farm, but yet I worked there, and I worked starting about 11 years old at the neighboring dairy farms. That's when our farm no longer had dairy animals, and we moved them to others. And so I worked at the other farms after school. And in the morning, I had my own chores. I'd get up about 4:30 or 5 every day, and like a typical farmer does, and water the animals and feed them, head off to school, and then come back and do the same thing over again. But then also go to the dairy farms to help with the milkings. But mostly I shoveled manure.
Oh boy. Well, it sounds like you've always been a hard worker.
Well, sort of. Yes, I would think so. And I think mostly it's because you do that because there's not much else to do. And in general, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, I don't know about the manure part, but everything else sounds fun.
I didn't mind it. I was little. I'm still only 5 foot tall.
Oh,
So, and back then, wheeling a big wheelbarrow full of manure, you get pretty strong from that. And I then when I was in middle school, I became a gymnast. So I had a lot of great upper body strength, which a lot of girls didn't have who were gymnasts. And so I typically did pretty well in gymnastics because of my upper body strength.
so you're a sports girl. Are you a Green Bay Packer fan?
Absolutely. Being from Wisconsin, of course, I was very into sports all the way through. Back then, I would have to say it was in the 60s. Um, Girls athletics was not what it is today. We didn't have a lot of opportunity. In our high school, we had the majority of sports like softball, tennis, volleyball, basketball, gymnastics came along, swim team. And then in the fall, we would have powder puff football before homecoming, and we practice, and I was a running back. And my father was a wrestling coach and the principal of our high school. And so he was hoping I would be the first female wrestler, high school wrestler. But when I had gymnastics, I did it. I left wrestling. My father was a national champion out of Iowa State. He's been inducted into halls of fame for his wrestling. All my brothers recently were inducted into a hall of fame for their wrestling contribution. They were all American wrestlers, wrestled, in China, Europe, Canada, Mexico, all across America. They were on the American team in college. And so sports has always been huge for our family, with my father being a coach and in multiple sports, and all of us being athletes. And so as a mom, we moved to San Antonio, Texas in the 80s. My husband went to law school here and became a lawyer. And at that time, I was teaching in Wisconsin, and I thought he would come back. I graduated from UW Oshkosh, and I thought he'd come back, and he didn't. He went to law school here. So I ended up moving here, and 6 months later, we were married.
Oh,
And so we raised our family here, and all of my kids are athletes. They all do, play musical instruments too. I wanted well-rounded. We traveled a lot in RVs. They've been to every national park in America. We just have a very well-rounded life, mostly because my husband has created a great life for us,
That's
with his legal practice.
that's great.
So yes, I am a fan of most sports. I do love to watch football. I didn't until I moved to Texas, which is funny. We didn't have a TV really when I was growing up. Occasionally we would have one, but most of the time TV didn't work. So we were, I wasn't really into what went on in the rest of the world sports wise when I was growing up. We didn't get a paper. It would have been the Milwaukee Journal or the Milwaukee Sentinel, but we lived out on a farm in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and we didn't have the paper. So we didn't keep up with a lot of what happened in the world and football. Until I moved here, I started getting more involved in professional sports, watching them, and of course became more of a Green Bay Packer fan, as did my children.
I'm happy that you're still Wisconsin true and that you passed it on to your kids.
Yes.
And they're a great franchise, obviously. So
Well, yes, it's fan owned, so it's absolutely spectacular.
totally.
And they make a lot of, they vote. They're very involved. When the Lambeau Field is full of snow, you get thousands of people that come out and bring their shovels, and they shovel the whole stadium.
Do you have a stake in the team?
I do not. That is kind of generational. It passes down from family to family. It is rare to be able to become an owner. In fact, the joke in our family is, my husband's family is, his sister married into a family that has season tickets, and that's the only reason she married the guy.
I love that. I love that. Your love of sports influenced, I guess, the second act that you're currently involved with, Score Designs. So I want to hear all about how you came up with this concept, especially, I guess, at a time in life where most people aren't starting a business.
Well, I'll tell you, the way that it started is, in Texas, we have a lot of different sports teams. We have several universities which are very active, mostly in football. And then we have what we call the I-10 rivalry, which is Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs. And then we have the 35 rivalry, which is the Dallas Mavericks and the Spurs. So we're fortunate in Texas. We have 3 NBA teams, professional teams. So San Antonio just has that one team. We don't have football. We have a minor league baseball team. And then we have the Rangers in Dallas, and we have the Astros who just won for the MLB. So, Texas is really strong in its professional sports. It's a big state, lots of big sports. So we became Spurs fans. I never really followed basketball before 1980, I think, about then. And we started going to watch Spurs games and became season ticket holders. Back then, it was a small arena in downtown San Antonio, and that has since been torn down. And we followed them all along the way. So since probably, I'm going to say at least 1984 or 85, we became season ticket holders, and following the Spurs all along the way. Anyway, in April of 2014, we were in our very first game of the playoffs with the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban's team. And they decided to close the entrances to the arena, which holds about 23,000 people typically. And they decided to close all the entrances except for a couple of them, set out these tables, and start looking through everybody's purses. Now, there were no policies, no security policies. There was nothing that predicated this move by them. So everybody's wondering, has there been a bomb scare? What is going on? Why are they looking through all the ladies' purses? So about 5,000 of us did not make it into the stadium to watch the opening ceremony, the tip-off, the introduction of all the players. And it was very frustrating. My husband and I were, one of those people that did not make it in. And we have our own, private entrance because we're the third row behind the bench. We have great season tickets. So we were pretty frustrated that we weren't able to get in. So the next game, I came in and I didn't bring a purse. I thought, well, I'm just going to bring my ticket, my lipstick, and my keys, and I'm going to get in. I still had to wait in the line because everybody had to wait and they searched everyone. So it was a little disturbing. And I thought at halftime, I thought, well, I'm going to go see if there's anything, I've never been in the fan shop. They call them fan concession shops. I'm going to go see if they maybe have some, cute things to look at, maybe some purses, and see what's going on up there. I couldn't believe how few products were available for women just in general. Yet the majority of the people in the shop shopping were the women, and the men were standing outside. There were some kids in there, but they just did not have the merchandise. So by the time I got to my seat, I thought, you know what? Somebody needs to make a really cute, clear, blinged out purse that says I'm a Spurs fan in my Spurs colors. And it needs to be clear so that when we get through this stadium, you can see right into it. There's, you can clearly get in because there's nothing bad that they're looking for. And, it'll speed up the line. So when I sat down and I had that idea, I thought, oh my gosh. I said it out loud. I just got the greatest idea. And my husband said, is it going to cost me? And I said, yeah, it's going to cost you a lot. And then I spent the next 8 months studying my idea. First of all, I'd never done retail. So as an deciding to be an entrepreneur in a whole different field, I before that, I did a lot of construction. I would buy buildings and turn them into offices. I built sports fields for nonprofit organizations. I have my own Bobcat, and I spread the dirt around, I clear it out, I have chainsaws, I get a crew, and I build fields. I was doing a lot of more service-oriented things over the years, and still very based in sports. And I thought, well, I need to learn about retail. I didn't know the difference between wholesale and retail. I didn't know anything about online shopping really, or building a website. I didn't know anything about licensing. I learned a whole lot that I couldn't afford it. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to be using logos. I'm using colors. That'll make it more flexible. So ladies can use purses that can get them not only into games, but also a lot of women don't go to games. They go to bars, the sports bars. They go to their friends' houses, a man cave, and they watch the game. They've got the hat, they've got the t-shirt, but they've never had a bag that matches their outfit and finishes their game day couture. So all of a sudden, now here I am studying marketing, sales, manufacturing, licensing. My world had suddenly changed. Like in one moment, it changed. So for 8 months, I studied, and then I tried to figure out, how am I going to manufacture this? So I started going to what are called sourcing shows. They're a type of trade show. The biggest one is in Las Vegas. I spent a week there. I narrowed it down to some manufacturers, but I got one that is also a designer and has her own factory in Shenzhen, China. And she and I became really close. And she helped me to design this line. What was really interesting was that she didn't know the difference between a soccer ball and a football. So she's learned an awful lot about sports too, and American teams, and she's originally from Korea. So we've created this great bond. So my world not only has changed within the designing of these purses and getting an idea and actually seeing it and making it happen, but I've created so many mentors and so many new friends, and learned about a different part of life, especially the entrepreneur side of life, and how many of us there are out there, which is why Shark Tank and so many other shows are so very, very popular, because the American dream to create a business and have an idea and actually see it happen doesn't happen very often. There's a lot of obstacles that keep a lot of people from doing it. Mostly it's fear of failure, of not being able to make it work. But the biggest thing is the money side of it, being able to have the funds to create your dream, your new idea, and to make it actually happen. Then actually, after it happens, being able to sustain it. The marketing side of it, the getting your idea out there, people are looking. But with the new algorithms that happen within social media marketing, with all the different ways, there's so many different channels, and to find the right channel for you and to know who your customer is, those are challenges within this business. But What's not a challenge is keeping your energy level up and being excited about something that you've created and you've done, and you're actually seeing people um, buying your product and loving your product and telling everybody else. That grassroots side of this business is still strong and thriving.
Yeah. No, that is so, so awesome. Where can people buy the bags? And do you have Giants bags?
Well, Giants are the navy blue and white, correct?
Yeah, yeah, like
Oh,
between navy and royal
and
blue.
royal, right.
Yeah.
Well, I learned about, colors by Pantones. And Pantones come in all different kinds. A Pantone for plastic, a Pantone for materials, a Pantone for, you name it. There's a paper. There's all different Pantones out there. I didn't even know what that was when I started this. So if you talk about a color like a blue, and you're dealing with licensing and licensed products, then you have to be specific. But for me, I have three different colors of blue. We have a light blue, we have a medium, we call it imperial or royal blue, and then we have navy blue. So it's very hard to get those in betweens, but we have navy blue and white. And we use that also for Cowboys fans. It's a huge one for Cowboys fans. Then we have, let's say you're the Patriots. So we have navy blue and white, and then we add a red trim to it. So a red handle or a red crossbody strap. So they still get their colors. So it's hard to do everyone's colors, but we're pretty close. I have 44 color combinations in some of my styles. There's 12 styles, and I'm sure to have one for just about every team. There's a few that I don't. I try to stay really try to do something for everyone. So if you're choosing a color, I hope, and I choose the colors if there's NCAA schools that have that color also. So if you're a team like the Miami Dolphins, which is more like a turquoisey color with a corally orange color, there are no universities with that color. So I push in Florida for the Dolphins. I have a burnt orange and white, and then you can buy a turquoise fur ball to go with it, or we have turquoise and silver that you can get. But I don't have any orange pom-poms to go with it. But the turquoise and silver is pretty popular in Florida. So
Wow.
that's how we market it. We try to make sure that everybody finds a color that they like, and then then they can use it for just about anything because there's no logos. Girls are not walking billboards. We have a hat and a t-shirt that has the logos of our team, but we don't need a purse with a logo on it. We just need to say, this is my color and this is my team loyalty.
I love that. So are they special order or do you just have all these in stock?
Have it in stock. We're ready to go. And that was probably one of my biggest mistakes when I started this. I didn't know. I wanted to be that person for everybody. And I wanted to make sure that I had plenty in stock. I don't want to run out. So boy, did I order. And I am ready to ship. We're still shipping, now. And it's, because we don't have any worries about the virus in our shipping, so, and we're just a tight knit group. There's 5 of us total in this group. I run the company. My daughter, Lindsay, runs all the shipping and new accounts and our wholesale side. She keeps track of our inventory. And then I have a girl that does all of our Facebook posting and Pinterest and Instagram, all the social media posting for our company. And she's out on the East Coast. And, so we're kind of all over the place. So our business continues to thrive. And we work from home, basically. I used to work at the office, but I'm getting used to working from home. We all are. I think it's going to be a whole new world out there for.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
As long as we stay productive.
Exactly. Yeah, and self-motivated and everything.
Right.
But I'm actually a little happy about that because how much time do you waste driving to meetings just to meet face to face? Now, hey, everybody knows Zoom now. Let's pop
Right.
on, let's have our meeting, and then you don't have to spend that time in the car away from your family and your life.
I think it's going to make a huge difference with how companies run their organizations, because if they are finding that people can still be productive, that the lease spaces that they have are probably going to hugely reduce, and they'll start putting that money more into their employees and their benefits rather than into their leased environments. If we can continue to thrive.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I hope so too. Well, Deni, give out your website once more.
My website is www.scoregamedaybag.com.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
we're all over Instagram and Facebook. We run specials all the time. This month is called April the Boho Buckets, and you buy one get one free. And so the code is a free boho. And we have I think 3 different bucket styles, and they come in 28 or 30 color combinations.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, I'm definitely going to check it out for the upcoming football season if there is a football season. But I think we'll be
There
okay
will
by
be. There will be a football season this year. I'm certain of it. And you know, the ladies who are going to the games, we do have clear bags. We're the only company in the world that has 44 color combinations. Nobody does that. And we have 6 styles total that will get you into the games. 2 of them are solid colors, and they're the right size. You know, they have to be a certain size. And then we have 4 that are clear bags. But we always say no before you go. You know, we want you to clearly breeze into the game, but you want to know before you go. So you check on our site. We have all of the policies for every stadium in America and for every organization on our site. But typically you can look it up yourself. You can go to NFL.com purse policies, and they'll tell you what the policies are, because each stadium is different. There are some stadiums in America that don't allow any purses of any kind, whether they're clear or not, like Penn State. No bags of any kind. There's several of them out there. But then there's stadiums like Arizona, the Cardinals. They require 100% clear. You cannot have any trim of any kind. You can't have a logo on it, even though the NFL policies require, you know, say, here's our purse that we allow in all of our stadiums. Some stadiums are more strict, and they don't even allow the NFL logoed purses into their stadium. So you always have to know before you go.
Wow. Deni, this was so great. I can talk to you all day. We have to do this again when, you know, there's football to talk about. So
that would be amazing.
Because I don't have a lot of sports girlfriends. So now I have one. I'm really happy about that.
Super. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I hope I answered all your questions.
Absolutely. You were a very big inspiration for sure. And best of luck to you. And please keep healthy and safe. And by the way, your house is beautiful, I have to say.
Oh, thank you. I designed it, you know, and I actually had my own crew that built. We bought this house about 30 some years ago, in 1989. We bought the house, and then I've since remodeled it and done a lot of construction here, and it's been very fun. I have a strong background in construction, and I have a strong background in curiosity. Yeah. I always have to know, you know, find something new to do. So,
well, next time we'll do a tour of your house, because no, it looks stunning. So